Welcome back to the CAMO Convoy Podcast, where we talk all things overland, off-road, and the great outdoors. Aaron, we have all been on that trip where half the group doesn't know the plan. Someone shows up completely unprepared. We got street tires when we're in Kentucky, or a full-blown back half race truck shows up, and we're just cruising around Bald Eagle. I don't think that's bad luck. I think that is indicative of a system that just doesn't work very well. So today, we're going to address that. So with us today, we have an OG member of CAMO, friend, and creator of Pathfinder Pro. This is a certified bake, Steven Vilbert. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. It's good to finally be on. I know you've been avoiding me so that you can get away with your rooftop tent slander, but it's good to be able to defend myself finally.
I know. I can't throw out any strays today. So I teased a little bit about Pathfinder last week because I can't keep my mouth shut. So why don't we dive right in and talk about what is Pathfinder Pro? What made you build this, and how did this start?
Oh man. Well, really it started in early CAMO days, I would say, because I'm sure you can appreciate this, and a lot of people listening, is executing an overlanding trip from start to finish involves a variety of different platforms, whether it be an online forum, Facebook, Instagram, your own website, something like that. And then inevitably you have a group chat somewhere where additional questions are being asked, like our Discord channel for CAMO currently. You have no idea who's actually coming. You have people bail at the last second, and it's just frustrating, honestly. And that is the experience that spawned the idea for Pathfinder Pro. If you actually remember, I think that we were chatting about it over the radio on our way back from Kentucky after I finished digging the mud out of my wheels.
Yeah. This has been a long time coming, because over the last, we're like coming up on a decade at this point. There's been a lot of frustrations in just getting information out to people. If you're going out by yourself, there's a lot less moving parts. You just go, you're on your own time. But even with us, where, we're not a guide service, we're just a bunch of guys that want to get together. But, with that said, there's still people taking vacations, and they are relying on the fact that there is a little bit of a plan. You don't want to be standing around with thumb up your ass wondering when the dirt starts.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. And that's one of the things that was really, really important to me when designing Pathfinder Pro, is that this needs to be a platform that you can leverage start to finish, whether you're an event organizer or you're just a guy looking to get outside. We need an app desperately that can facilitate that end-to-end experience on one platform. I'm sure all of you guys can relate to, Facebook group. Hey, the link to the route is here. You go to a Google Drive link or a Dropbox link, you download the route, you upload it into your favorite app, whether it be, OnX or Gaia, which are great platforms, but you're just bouncing between different things and you don't have all of the information in one place. And fundamentally, that's what Pathfinder Pro is all about. It's the all-in-one platform, and it's very, very community-centric. So the core focus of the app is all about clubs, people, and the events that they can go on.
Yeah, I love it. And we'll get into the features, because I think we could probably talk about those all night. But what one thing was kind of like your final straw where it was like, all right, I'm doing this? I know for me what I think it might be, but I'm curious for what you have to say.
Oh, man. Well, there's obviously been a handful of trips where, you were standing around the trucks, freezing our tails off, and we're saying to ourselves, where the hell is this guy? And we're just waiting for this guy to show up that's marked as going on Facebook. We have no idea if he's 5 minutes down the road, if he crashed into a tree, or if he's, at an air show.
That's a real example, by the way. we were literally standing around, if I'm not mistaken, in the rain. And we're like, hey, this guy, and this wasn't just like he marked going and never spoke again. He was like talking to us, and then we're waiting around, waiting on this guy. And like 35 minutes later, we get a message like, I went to an air show. You guys have fun. It's like, bro, what?
Golly.
Yeah, and the app really makes it nice for organizers because organizers have different goals than the attendees do, right? The attendees want to know where are they going, what time do I need to be there, am I going to break my truck on this trip because it's too difficult? But organizers care more about, hey, who's coming, where are they here yet? Are they bringing, a vehicle that's reliable? Are they bringing a vehicle that's capable? So there's a little bit of overlap, but there's very distinct goals between those two categories of individuals. And this is something that Pathfinder Pro does very well, because when you sign up, you add a vehicle to your garage. And this is where you can store all of the information about your vehicle so that when you're an event organizer, you can say, hey, I know that this specific trip is going to include some very technical sections, and we're going to say that, we're going to require all-terrain tires. We're going to require four-wheel drive. We're going to require recovery points and various things. And this is something that when the user is browsing events, he can see the vehicle requirements are set, and then the app will actually tell the user if their vehicle meets these requirements or they don't. And then the event organizers can enforce it to where a user cannot RSVP a vehicle that does not meet those requirements. So it ensures peace of mind for both sides of the house.
Yeah, and since you brought the garage up, I nerded out so hard with the
You
garage.
did.
So one of the features within the garage is it gives you the opportunity to put your build list in, but it's not just like a text box. There's various categories. So like suspension, lighting, gearing, engine, performance, air. You can break them all out. And I still have probably a few more things to add, but I went all out. I was like, all right, I'm putting, like, my wife can never, ever, ever see this. Like, never. I need to hide. You can actually hide vehicles in the public garage. I need to hide the front seat. But man, it is like, it's fun because you know what it kind of reminds me of a little bit is like, do you remember, this is probably more of an Aaron question, but do you remember like when MySpace, you could like customize your profile and they were like your top friends and you could see what your friends were into? It feels like that,
Yes.
Steven's like Tom.
Yes, everybody's friend.
Yes.
That's the only way I can get updates out right now. Like, you gotta follow me on the app so I can actually get you guys updates. So it does it automatically.
Yeah, but the garage is really fun, and you can build out. Is there a cap on vehicles? I think Valeni has like 4 in there.
Yeah, so funny enough, you and Valeni both uncovered bugs in the app because Valeni added like his whole front yard, like all the vehicles that are in his front yard.
I think his e-bike's in there.
Made it in. And for you added so many entries to the garage details that there were UI bugs where it was like cutting it off. So when I clicked on yours, I was like, oh man, I had to go fix it because you added so many.
Yeah, I'm glad that there is not a estimated cost at the bottom.
Oh, that's actually a good feature request right there. We can send monthly reports to your emergency contact.
Not good. Not good.
Cut.
That's the podcast.
Get this guy. He's breaking the rules. But yeah, the garage is awesome. But that's like 1%, of what's going on in there. Gosh, the route feature, I like a ton because you can actually do something with it. One of my biggest gripes with, like I use Gaia, and one of the things that I noticed when outdoors, acquired or whatever that partnership was, where something changed with Gaia.
Mm-hmm.
It just doesn't seem to perform as well. And like, I don't care about that home screen at all. I want nothing to do with any of that. If I wanted that, I would just Google those things and look at them. They don't do anything for me. And once I make a route there, I have to export, put that exported file somewhere. Half the time you put it in Google Drive and then somebody's like, oh, it's in web things when I open it. Like, I can't do anything with it. So yeah, I think that the route builder being integrated is really nice, and it's built in a way that's familiar. Like, if you've ever built a route, you could pick that up and just start using it,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. And the routes thing for me was all of this is focused around the fact that all of us are tired, having an event in one spot, your route in another spot, and things are scattered. And it really, really benefits the user when we have all of these things unified because this way the app knows your vehicle. The app knows the gear you have. The app knows the event, when it's happening, where it's happening. It knows the route. It knows the elevation. It knows the weather. It knows the fire risks, like the U.S. Forest Service fire data. It knows everything. And when it has all of that data, what it's able to do is it's able to give you information that's actually useful to you instead of you having to bounce around to various places to get that information yourself.
Yeah, and there's actually there's like a feature that you literally talk to if you want to. There's some AI integrations where it knows your trip specifically. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, being able to do everything in one place is really helpful. And I don't think it leaves room for anybody to be confused. But with that said, I also don't think that it steps on any toes of, like, last week we talked about the spirit of overlanding, right? I don't think that it steps on those toes. I think these are all things that you have to do anyway. You're gonna do anyway. It streamlines that in a way that's cool, and um it's fun. I like to chit chat and look at off-road and overlanding stuff all day. So having that, like, almost Instagram, Facebook feed of what everyone's doing is really fun.
Yeah, absolutely. And I will say, the main reason I have Facebook right now is for groups and, off-road content in general, and a platform that I can scroll without having, nonsense shoved on my feed is
Yeah,
always a win for me.
Yeah. Yeah. Get away from the
absolutely.
reels.
Yeah. You know, I think on the topic of Facebook, I think, like, my final straw for kind of detaching slowly Camo from Facebook is when we lost community chats.
Hmm.
Um, I mean, that was like hundreds of people that were active, and Facebook Meta was like, yeah, community chats are going away. You can do groups now. It doesn't lay out the same. Oh, and everyone doesn't get it. So
Hmm.
it's like, okay, I guess I'll just myself.
And if I remember
Yeah.
correctly, that happened very close to a trip, which was a logistical nightmare.
Yeah,
Yes.
absolutely. Like, I don't have everyone's phone numbers. I don't have their emails. So I'm going through and I'm messaging people, and for the time being, we live in Discord for chats and whatnot. But it seems like by the day, the Pathfinder chat platform is better. So I would imagine we probably ultimately migrate there and just live there. And maybe I could just delete my Facebook. That would be awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's the goal, really, is to and it's funny because this isn't competing with anybody. And that's what the
No.
funniest part is
No.
for me is because the reason I know this is because I've been looking for this for a
Yes.
long time, and
Yeah.
it's just not out there. There's different subsections of the overlanding experience that are covered very well, but there's nothing that's holistic.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think, from my perspective, putting routes and putting trips together, I can't tell you how many times. I mean, I would actually be comfortable saying every trip, at least one person says, where are we finishing up?
Yeah.
I wish I could live that carefree.
Yeah.
But on that, why don't you talk a little bit about the itinerary and what that process looks like? Because I think that's really cool. And again, there's nothing that connects your route and your itinerary that exists out there right now.
Yeah. So the biggest thing is attendees want information. They want information that they actually care about. Where are we going? What time is lunch? How many times have you heard that on the radio? Or, any different things. And the beauty of the itinerary is that the organizer can define various items within this list. And what happens is that the route itself and the itinerary converge to where you can create an itinerary item, that is directly attached to a specific point on your route. So what that would look like is you're in your Trail Companion app, and it'll specifically tell you on the map, you're approaching this itinerary item, this stop, lunch, in 5 miles. And that alone cuts down needless radio chatter and can, open up more radio chatter to talk about like asphalt and stuff.
Or to talk about radio chatter.
There you go.
Yeah, it's like the perfect commercial. So you leaked it. So I want to talk about what I think is the end all be all end game, which is the Trail Companion. Take it away, because this is like I literally get giddy because this is this is what I wanted from the time I started this. So go ahead.
Yeah. So Trail Companion is a slightly different experience between organizer and attendee, but it serves the same function, right? It gives you the information that you need while you're on the trip. So the experience will start 10 days before an event is scheduled to start. Your your Trail Companion will become available. And when you click into that screen or tap onto that screen, it's going to give you information such as the current distance from you right now to the meetup point, when that meetup point is, when you need to leave. It'll provide you, it'll surface the packing checklist that you've created, and it will give you any other relevant information for that. And that's considered to be the prepping phase. Now, when the day of the event comes, or the night before, in some cases, people like to leave a little bit early, get to camp. A user will go into the app and they'll hit, "I'm on my way." It's a big orange button. The second that they trigger "I'm on my way," their location is now live on the Trail Companion app. And anyone can see it, and you can visually see people start to converge upon the meeting point. And this is really nice because as an organizer, you want to know, where are these people? When are they going to get here? In the organizer's view, it'll show you, hey, 2 people are here, 2 are not here yet. This person's 10 miles away. This person hasn't checked in yet. And that gives you the information in one look of the current status of the attendees. And then when everyone's there, the organizer will hit a button, just says, "Let's hit the trail." And from there, that is when the trail run starts. And that is a live GPS tracked view through the entire route. The route lives on the same platform as the companion, so you don't need to download and upload anything. It pulls it in automatically, plots the route, and you go. And then that is where you'll start to see your waypoints coming up, like, hey, lunch is in 5 miles. A scenic lookout is in 10 miles. Camp is in 50 miles. It'll give you all of that information.
Yeah,
and sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say for anybody that's ever seen lead nav, like the time to next turn kind of vibe, imagine that, but instead of like race pace, race notes, time to camp or miles to camp, because you could tell people where camp is, but you may as well say it in like a Hindi language or something, because they don't know where that is, right?
Yep.
They probably didn't download the GPX file that you sent to the Facebook group because it got lost, because there's no right place to put it. What do? Pin it as a post? So having that function alone, like, I just think there's so many times where I'm just face palming, like, bro.
Yeah. And one really cool thing about the trail riding experience is that you can actually see not just yourself on the map, but you can see every single person who is on this trail live on your map. So as an organizer, somebody, has an issue and gets left behind, you see that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
How many people can you have?
Sky's the limit. Just don't crash my app. No, please do. Please try.
We tried to do this. We tried using LeadNav and we tried using Life 360 to track each other. But all Life 360 is good for is seeing when Andrew speeds and when Ross lands in an airplane.
Dude, yes.
So,
I think I have one right now on my notifications for that.
Yeah, I mean,
he's Mr. Worldwide.
Yeah.
And Kyle left home.
Yeah, Kyle is just always leaving home. So, we're doing all this stuff now, but again, like, now that I think about it, I mean, it's like 6 apps that we're pissing around with and hopping back and forth through. And something that I think is going to be really, really beneficial with the Trail Companion is I think about how many times we have sent a group to do a bypass. Like, let's say someone's just having a day, truck's busted or not running right, but there's, the Black Diamond route that 8 people or 5 people want to go run. Those people can go and do it, but the organizer can see, who's where they should be and who isn't, or when you're going to link up. So I think that's going to be really, really useful.
Yeah.
Yeah. And obviously you're a little bit constrained by...
I gotta pause right now.
Yeah.
My floodlight is literally catching on fire. Hold on.
Oh, shit.
Oh, my God. All right. Oh my gosh, a bug landed in it, and the bug was on fire.
Is the propane tank out of the basement?
No. Dude, that is
Mine's still
funny.
in the living room, so it's okay.
I'm sitting here and out of the corner of my eye, I'm like, so this is like like the 2 halogen, they're pointing at the ceiling. Well, I'm looking over there and I'm like, is that smoke? What's going on? And then I'm like, that's really smoking.
Is this you pushing for a Baja Design sponsorship?
Oh, yeah. Boy, if I just had a telescopic floodlight that was LED that didn't get 6 bajillion degrees and literally catch on fire in my basement.
Just like a row of LP6s.
Well, that was exciting, guys. That was the first active fire that we've had on the CAMO Convoy Podcast.
Honored to be here for it.
Yeah. Wow. Anyway, sorry about that. So the Trail Companion, I think that feature is going to be very, very useful. Aaron, think about Kentucky.
That's where I was going to go with it. Is Alex broke, we got split up. The group went and did their thing, and we got fixed and did a couple things, but we could hear them on the radio. We couldn't find them. They couldn't hear us. So being able to see them on the map would have been huge. Yeah,
I mean, another instance is when Julius Tacoma had that issue on leading up to Union Springs, and we got separated. We were in that line down at the entrance to Union Springs for what, like 30 minutes or more?
Yeah.
No idea where they were.
Somebody parked that excavator and roller and bucket just in a bad spot.
Oh man. Allegedly.
I actually put an idler pulley in my truck this week because of that.
That was a really long night. And on the topic of a really long night, imagine, somebody is expecting you, right? Well, they can kind of see what's going on. Now, obviously, if there's no connectivity, it's not going to ping until you get some. But the nice thing is, I'm sure it's constantly searching so that as soon as it can, it is going to upload, and that would be available for someone to see.
Yeah, absolutely. You're always limited by network connectivity. One of the things that we're looking to do is when you're building something from the ground up, you have a lot of options. And one of the technologies that's been very appealing to me over the course of the last year or so has been Meshtastic. And Meshtastic is essentially network communication over radio. And this is a little bit down the road for sure, but what it would mean would be if we could integrate that with your app, with your mobile app.
Yeah.
You're no longer bound by network connectivity. If, even one person in the line has a Starlink, any update that you send, if it makes it to your app, it can shoot it up and everyone can get it.
Yeah. And it's funny too. I remember, like, we had talked, I think it was probably that same long drive from Kentucky home where, I always have an infatuation with sending telematic data. But at the time, the only thing that I could think of was, well, I guess it would have to be a Bluetooth mesh network off of your phones. Because at the time, that was really the only thing that was popular. But now with this, it's like, it's like built for it. So
yeah, and in the woods, allegedly, you can get up to like 2.5, 3 miles of range.
Wow.
And that would be very, very nice for if you're one of the trail leads, or even if you're the caboose, right? And your radio goes down or something like that. You can hit one button in your app, say, we have an issue.
Yeah.
And then bang, that gets populated all the way up to the front of the line. Everyone has it instantly. No network connectivity required.
Yeah. Talk about catching stuff on fire. The last January trip, my Baofeng, I plugged it into a 96 watt Apple charger, and I literally blew it up in the truck.
Yep.
So that would have been a perfect example for it. Here I am, the safety guy. We got 2 active burns.
Oh no, I'm the burn guy. You can't steal that from me.
Well, there's a story there. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think we talked about how you reduced something back to its carbon roots.
Oh man. So this was an early
trip.
This is probably almost a decade ago.
Yeah.
You, me, Cam, and Palco. It was right after. Oh man, it was right after we caught that fish and tossed it in the dry bag with water in it and proceeded to drive another 100 miles.
More like 190, if I'm not mistaken.
Because it was the Mid-Atlantic Discovery route, right?
Yeah, it was basically from Covington. I mean, we may as well just get into it. Why don't we talk about that first night in Covington?
Oh man. All
so,
right.
A little bit of backstory, right? So Steve and I have known each other for a long time, and that comes from the Nissan world. Now, really, the connection happened just because both Steven and I were doing a lot of shit posting in the Nissan group. And I had recently gone kind of soft roading with my truck, and I was like, all right, I want to off-road this thing all the time now. So I'm like, hey, we're doing this. Let's go. And Steven's like, all right, let's go. So he links up with myself and 2 of my friends from back home. And we start in Covington, Virginia at, what the hell is that place called? The Magnuson?
Yeah. Right next to the Taco Bell.
Yes, right next to the Taco Bell. So, if you got kids, I would suggest maybe this is just maybe not. Anyway, we get inside the Magnuson, and first thing we see is this security guard who is just morbidly obese, sitting on the bench with his like shitty like Caltech or I don't even know, High Point 45 sitting on his lap. Now, allegedly, I don't know if this is true or not, but allegedly Steven is actually younger than me by like a pretty half decent bit. So keep that in mind. I didn't know this. But we
Allegedly.
proceed. Oh, this is very hypothetical. This is actually just a biography that's based in fiction. But we go in and we're going to be very merry because none of us had been out for a while, the mundane life. So we are being very merry. So we asked if they had anything good, and they said, "Oh, we have everything." I'm like, "Oh, that's great. I would love a Knob Creek." Like, "Oh, we don't have Knob Creek." I was like, "Oh, I'll take a bullet ride. That'd be pretty cool." Like, "Oh, we don't have that." "All right, I'll have Jack Daniels." So we get to partying on. And really, I don't remember too much until we got hungry.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead. Let's talk about Taco Bell.
We walk out of this very fine establishment.
Mind you, like kings, we were the most popular people in the building. Bar none.
Yeah, 100%. We were the only ones that had all our teeth. So that was a big +1 right away.
Uh-huh.
But we walk out of this bar, and the very first thing we say is, we need some food. So we look at the GPS, bang, Taco Bell, open till like 3 a.m. And it's like 0.2 miles away. We're like, let's go. So we wander on down to the Taco Bell. We're excited, walk up to this door, locked. We're like, oh no. We walk around to the drive-through window and talk to the guy. And the guy informs us that we can't order food unless we're in a vehicle, because the drive-through is for vehicles only. So that presented a very, very difficult conundrum. Now,
see, these two plazas are connected, but they're connected by a strip of land, and that land is not paved. So Magnuson, the lowly Magnuson, is down here, and the Holy Grail Taco Bell is up on this hill, and between is just some shrubberies and greenery in between. We were really hungry, and my keys were just warm and vibrating in my pocket, allegedly. So the team made a business decision that it would be wise to be fed before we went to bed. So we took that route up to get into line at the Taco Bell. And truthfully, everything seemed to be quite fine. Well, we said some stuff in line that wasn't super nice. I don't know what kind of food we actually got, but I knew I was missing some things, but that was okay.
Your fire sauce?
So we were given our food, and now the parking lot for the Magnuson is, we could see it. It's just, it seems a lot further than when we started this journey. And we maybe contacted some shrubberies, perchance, on the way down.
I mean, hey, listen, it's an off-roading trip. You can't just expect us to not off-road.
Correct. So we, we got into the parking lot, and it kind of just looked like somebody played Yahtzee with the trucks, and they put them in a cup and just went. So we go inside and we eat our Taco Bell, and I'm missing some sauce. I'm very displeased. And around that time, two of our partners were not feeling so well. They must have got a stomach bug or something.
The summit bug was going around at the time.
Mm-hmm. So a lot of hurling and porcelain hugging later. Next thing I knew, my alarm goes off. It's time. So, sunlight felt kind of like what I anticipate the vampire or zombie things from I Am Legend felt when you hit them with the sun.
Oh, man.
But we had a lot of driving to do. Matter of fact, if I'm not mistaken, our plan was to go, and we did the whole way up into like central PA, right?
Yeah. So this was Covington, Virginia, all the way up.
Yeah. Yeah, we did. We ran the whole thing.
That was, I think that was one of the most, like, the biggest endurance runs I've ever done with CAMO.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong. This is the same trip that the alternator died in the JK or in the XJ, right?
Yes. Yeah. No, that was that trip because we ended up in Bald Eagle.
Yes.
Because Palco was trying to flex on us because he had lockers and we didn't back then.
Yes.
Going up that hill.
And okay, that means this is also the same trip that Palco got lost because he picked up that drunk Mexican guy. All right, we're gonna catch you up. A lot happened here. So we take off on the trip. It's beautiful. It's a little bit bumpy. We're not aired down. It's 10 years ago, practically. And, around lunchtime, we're starting to feel a little bit better. And we get, I don't know, probably if you're looking at section 3 of the MABDR, it's about halfway. It's when it starts to get really, really, really twisty up the mountain. And we had just crossed a bridge over water. And all of a sudden, the XJ that's with us just starts making hellacious noises, and the alternator bearing completely ceases. Now, that particular spot is about as far away from anything that you can be on that entire MABDR.
And it went out on a bridge, a one-lane bridge.
Yeah, over water. And so we're like, all right, well, this is not ideal. So we decided that it would be best if one of us was the gas and someone else was the brake, and we're going to pull him until we get cell phone service. Now, mind you, I had never done any of this route before, and at the time, heck, I was 22. So, or maybe 21, I don't know. I didn't have a lot of experience in really map reading for off-road purposes. So, the jaggedy lines, that meant mountain. I know that now. So we just start towing this Jeep up this mountain. And at one point, there was this big hole. And I don't remember if I was towing or Steven was towing at the time, but the towing truck took off and the braking truck stopped.
Oh, shit.
And we just ripped the front bumper off of the XJ.
Oh, yeah, I was in the lead because you had the Wham bumper, so you had better front recovery to be the brakes.
That's right.
And you hit that bump, and man, it felt like the truck just stopped moving. Like my head flew forward in the seat. I can't imagine that unibodied XJ taking that.
Yeah, it was not ideal. But we get to the summit. At the summit, we get some cell phone service. And we see that we're, like 2 hours from the nearest auto parts store? But the best part about wheeling an XJ in West Virginia is that when you ask if they have parts for an XJ, they just laugh, because everybody has an XJ. So, we load up, we get an alternator, and we install this alternator. Now, I do remember it was like a midnight, when we got the alternator in. But we weren't stopping. We had driving to do. We had to make up miles. So what time did we even drive till?
I think we drove until about 3 a.m.
We continue on and we set up camp. Yeah, like 3 o'clock in the morning. And it was actually an awesome campsite. I've been trying to find it to this day. I have no idea where it is. I never dropped a pin on it.
Wait, this is where I burned my hand, right?
So that was the next night.
Oh, you're talking about the first night.
Yeah, so the first night is when we woke up and Camden used that big log as a battering ram to put his bumper back in place.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but the second day was a lot more calm, but the second day was, you had brought up the fish. So the fish happened on the second day. We're passing through this beautiful valley, and, it was all public land through there, and there was looked like a little trout stream. Now, if anyone has never met Nick Palco, he's one of those guys that could take a piss on the side of the road and cast a fly into it and pull a trout out of it. He's just that guy when it comes to fishing. And he practically locks the brakes up and he's like, "Hey, I'm going to catch a fish here." Like, what? All right. So we pull over, he catches a fish in like 5 minutes, and it's looked to be sizable. And we're like, "Guys want to eat that?" I'm like, hell yeah, let's eat that. So we had a dry bag. We filled it with water and put this fish in it. And I don't think that in my head, I want to believe that we put it in a cooler, but I just don't think that we did.
No, that this is one of those stories that I actually kind of feel a little bit bad about, because we just tossed that fish in a dry bag, rolled the top, clicked it into the Utilitrack, and just drove. Because we were like, surely it'll be more fresh when we get to site.
Yeah. But we took a lot of time that day. There was a lot going on. There was a lot of soft wheeling to do. If you recall, we did some water crossings after that, Steven. Little ones, but something interesting happened in those water crossings.
Yeah, so I feel like the audience kind of needs to put themselves in our shoes a little bit, where, we're young, dumb, inexperienced guys, and this is the coolest trip we've ever been on in our entire lives, right? So, a bump that we would just drive by today was an obstacle that we had to record, right?
Yes.
So we're coming up to this creek crossing, and we're like, dude, we gotta get this on film. This is so sick. So Nick is in the lead. He hits this water crossing. It was like an 8-inch deep creek. He hits this thing at like 40 miles an hour, water everywhere. I was like, this is insane. I do the same thing, and I'm like, I got to get a video of Cam doing it.
Yeah.
I throw open the truck, jump out. It's probably midnight, 1 a.m. at this point.
Oh yeah, it's late.
I get my phone out, start recording. Finish recording, run back to the truck, and we keep going, right? And that's actually where we met up with Palco, at that gas station right afterwards.
Yep.
So when we roll up to this gas station, I get out and I say, oh my gosh, my wallet is not to be found anywhere. Tore the truck apart, everything out of the back, looking for it. And we just come to the conclusion, this wallet has been sacrificed to Appalachia,
nature.
Like
to the forest.
Yeah.
It was just like an offering to the George Washington National Forest. So I just accepted that fact. And, you have Apple Pay. I was able to be fine.
Now, real quick, at that time, I had absolutely no clue what Apple Pay was. Because this was like...
I still don't.
Because this had to have been like inception of Apple Pay. Like,
very early.
Why one of Apple Pay? And I'm like, the hell do you mean you can beam me money, bro? What you're talking about?
Well, I was so thankful for that because honestly, I'm not the type of guy to beg for gas money at a gas station, so I probably just wouldn't have gotten home.
But yeah, so we continued on.
Yeah, so we're driving, and the trip is done at this point. You know, we're driving, or no, it's not done yet, but we had finished George Washington, and we were on our way up to Bald Eagle State Forest in Pennsylvania, and we're just, on the highway, and my phone rings. I'm like, this is interesting. I answer the phone, and it's actually my gun club that I belong to back home. And I was like, this is a little bit weird. And I answer the phone. I'm like, hey, how's it going? He's like, it's going good. Weird question. Got a call from a guy named Forrest. He said he was doing his daily drive through George Washington National Forest, and he found a wallet on the ground by a river. I just said, no way. Like, there's 0% chance. He's like, yeah. Should I just, have him mail it to you? I was like, sure. And I tell you that this wallet showed up with the exact same money in it to the dollar. Like, this is like a good Samaritan out of nowhere.
Yeah, like,
that's cool.
Possibly an apparition, because just like location wise, okay, so picture Brandywine on a map and then go like 25 miles south into the woods as the crow flies there. And there's just a dude finding a wallet.
It's a brown wallet in the middle of a forest, and he was driving and he saw it on the ground.
Yeah. It was that was crazy. So we get to Bald Eagle, and we set up camp, and we were, I don't want to say merry, because you can't be merry in Bald Eagle. We were just so happy. And we decided we were going to cook late at night, and Steven was going to make bacon.
Yeah. Listen, I'm a big bacon guy, and you got to remember that this was, I'll speak for myself. I don't know about you, Nick. My preferred location for shopping at the time was Walmart for outdoor gear. So picture the green Walmart propane canister, the world's cheapest attachment, with like a 25-pound Lodge cast iron skillet on top of it,
precariously perched on top. I have a picture of all this.
This contraption that I have is begging for mercy. Like, these thin steel fins that hold up this cast iron are bending under the weight. I'm just laying out the bacon. I was like, it's cold out. I'm just going to crank this thing all the way up. And then I'm cooking my bacon. All's going good. And then all of a sudden I hear just this slam sound. And I look around. I'm like, what is that? And it's Cam using a log to battering ram his bumper back in his face after we just... like, that torture in medieval days where they just stretch you, like they attach ropes to you and
on the
stretch you.
rack.
Basically,
yeah.
It's basically what his Jeep experienced. So I get distracted. I totally distracted. I'm focused on this. We're getting his Jeep pushed back to where it was, and then Nick goes, "Dude, what is that smell?" And I turn around, and we have a bonfire in the middle of Bald Eagle State Forest. Everything in the cast iron pan is on fire, like full flame. And so, in my infinite wisdom, I run up to this cast iron and I just grab it to take it off of this thing. And the very first thing that happens, obviously, is that the skin of my hand welds to the pan right away. So, in immense pain, I just drop it onto the ground. And then what happens is the lit propane burner then falls into a pile of leaves. So that then becomes my primary focus of getting that situated, stomping out a leaf fire in a forest during a fire ban. That's why Pathfinder has fire ban warnings.
Yes.
And then Nick proceeds to then evaluate the current state of the bacon. And I'll let him take that one away.
So it was kind of like it went through like all of the phase changes, and then it just went back to the periodic table, and it was just simply carbon. Like it was just one. That was there was a full elemental change that took place. There was not a single remnant of any edible source. It was just carbon. We could have taken that and we could have put that inside something and crushed it, and you could have had a diamond. We were one step away from bacon to diamonds.
Oh, it literally looked like it looked like cremated ashes on the ground.
I didn't even know you could get something that hot with propane. But I mean, meanwhile, I mean, like, we're laughing about this, but like, he's got like a very serious burn going on his head.
Oh yeah.
I mean, this thing looked it looked real bad. I know that hurt like a son of a bitch.
Oh, dude.
I think if I'm not mistaken, I had did I have the blue burn pads?
Yeah, you had that big medical bag that was so nice to have.
Because I think I was still like gung ho. That would have been like my early stages of like gung ho prepper Nick. So I'm pretty sure. I think I had like the full on. It was like a hand pad. I think we got on there. And if you recall, we had to bring that out again for Palco the next day.
What did he do? I can't remember.
He fell down the cliff and like
he fell underneath my truck.
Yeah, and ripped his knee open.
Yeah. Oh man.
Yeah, the infantile days of CAMO was kind of like a different planet, guys.
It was something else. I'm trying to see if I have a photo anywhere of the state of our campsite that night. I remember that we had a picture somewhere of a picnic table.
I do. I have
you have video of the bacon. Like
I do.
Yep. I think I've seen that.
Yeah. I'll make sure I put I'll put all that. I think I even have a picture of your hand.
Yeah, I think that you do.
Oh, yeah, that was certainly something. You know, it's funny to think about, like, even then, you know, being Mr., you know, I'm Mr. Prepper, how many things I forgot, didn't have. And had we had something way back then to actually plan what we were about to do, I'm sure a lot of the goofy shit would have still happened, but like I wouldn't have been freezing with cold feet on the second night when we woke up and it just so happened to have frosted. You know, there's so many things that I think would have changed for the better if we would have had something like that.
Oh, without a doubt. And another really good thing about this app is, well, it's extremely community focused, but it's something that just the everyday guy, if you want to do a solo trip, you know, it works well for that too. You can just sit down, build out your own route, and just hit go. You know, you could record a route and share it with your friends. You know, there's a bunch of different things that you can do, and the ethos behind the app really is very, very closely aligned to the ethos behind CAMO, and that is, people want to get outside. People want to have community, and the off-roading and overlanding scene is an incredible way to meet friends that, you know, end up being lifelong friends. I can't tell you how many people have shown up at events, and when the event ends, they'll say something along the lines of like, "I've made genuine friends this weekend."
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. And like foxhole friends, like
Mm-hmm.
people who you met them that weekend, and the following Thursday at 3 a.m., you could call that person and they would come and help you with whatever. Yeah, I mean, when you're in that situation where your hand has 3rd-degree burns, or someone gets run over with a truck, or you got the woods on fire, these are things that that doesn't happen in normal casual friendships.
No, I mean, I can give you a great example. I mean, there was one day where we were on, I can't remember what trip it was. We were at RPC, and weather was beautiful, and I set up my ground tent, and I said to myself, you know what, this weather is so good. I was positioned right on that ridge where you can just see forever.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, no rain fly, I'm gonna just soak in the views. This is gonna be great. The elevation and the weather changes. The weather changes very quickly due to the weather. So at probably 3 a.m, I wake up and it is a torrential downpour. And I very quickly, I grab the rain fly. I'm exhausted. I'm a little disoriented. Dig around, find my headlamp, throw it on, get outside, throwing my rain fly on. And next thing I know, Mike Valente is out of his tent in the pouring rain, helping me get my rain fly on. And that is just a pure example of the friendships that are created at events like these, and also the type of people that events like these draw in. And that is what makes me so confident in the platform that I'm building, is because if the people in my club are like this, I know that there are other people at other clubs who are like that too.
Yeah.
Who want to get engaged and want to get connected, and just don't feel like they have a good way to do that.
Yeah, for sure. And if you're not, and this is a great segue into finding a club and how people would do that. But if you don't have a group of people, or you think that I'm the lone wolf, overlanding to me is by myself, that's okay. But I would really implore you that you do seek out people who share that mindset, because it's kind of like this is an awful example. What is it, like Rule 32? Like, if it exists, like if you're if the shit that you're into exists, there's people there that also are into that shit. So like you can find your club. If you want a group of people where everyone is just kind of together but no one talks to each other, but you have people to be around and you like that, I bet that exists. If you want to go and like not really off-road but just hang out at camp, I know that exists.
Oh, 100%. And yeah, that's the biggest thing, is because if you remember when we started this whole thing, CAMO didn't even exist, right? We were just people that enjoyed the outdoors, and we genuinely felt like it was hard to find people who shared that same desire. But what we're coming to learn is that those people have always existed.
Mm-hmm.
There's just no really good way to find them.
Yep. Yeah, because otherwise you're just a profile picture on Facebook, or an avatar on Expedition Portal, and it's like, okay, these are all fine places, but it doesn't connect me. So let's say I'm fresh to the hobby and I think I would like to find a club. What is my like path when I create an account?
Yeah, absolutely. So you'd head to pathfinderpro.io, create an account, and the very first thing that you're going to see when you log in is you're going to find a tab on the left side called Clubs. You can click on that tab and you can browse all of the clubs that are on the platform, find one that's a good fit for you, and request to join it. If you don't find a club that interests you, or you wish that there was a club closer to you, create one. We absolutely want people to be doing that. Create a club, invite your friends, get people involved, reach out to people on forums. Like, I can't tell you how many people we posted a CAMO event into a Facebook group, and a random guy says, "Hey, this sounds awesome. I'd love to go." And then next thing you know, they're a lifelong friend, right? So build these clubs, create these communities, and get people engaged.
Yeah. I think what we're gonna see really soon is like there's going to be a lot of clubs, which is awesome. I mean, that's what we want. That's what I want to see. I want to see the more people overlanding, the happier I am. I know there's the other side of it where it's like, oh, you're clogging up the woods with your insta landing. It's like, okay, not really,
Yeah. And actually one of the most difficult things for me creating this platform, and I actually sent this in an email to one of our community members on the platform in response to some very, very good feedback, was that it's very difficult for me to remove myself from CAMO and put myself into the shoes of the other groups that operate across the country. A great example of this is that in my head, I weigh, just as an example, I weigh winches as being extremely valuable on the trail. So when we built out our vehicle capability index feature, which is essentially an algorithm that takes your garage, runs it through this algorithm, and then produces a capability value. This value isn't for bragging. This value isn't for any of that stuff. It essentially is so that the application can recommend a trail order, essentially, so that it ensures that, if you don't have a front recovery point, you're not going to be in the rear. It distributes the winches evenly throughout the line, and it just gives you a recommendation on, what a good order would be. And one of the feedback comments that I received was like, hey, I live out west and we don't have winches. We use snatch, recoveries pretty much
kinetic
exclusively.
Ropes, yeah.
Kinetic ropes. Yes, exactly. And that is one of those examples where I didn't even occur to me that that's something to think about. And that was great feedback, and I built that in. But on the other half, you have clubs that operate in a completely different way, where, somebody says, hey, I actually want to go to a festival where they have courses, they have daily group rides, and we all meet up at base camp and we have dinner together and stuff like that. And that's a very recent feature that we've built out that supports exactly that. And I would probably say the coolest part about that is a new feature where an organizer can actually create groups. So groups would be, if you have 100 people attending an event, you got to divide them into manageable groups so that the trail leads can, take this group, go do the run, and come back. And then you're generally assigned the same group for the duration of the event, right? What we do is we're leveraging our vehicle capability index, where the organizer can see the total list of all the people coming and then select how many groups they want and click one button. And then it automatically breaks all of the attendees into groups based upon their vehicles. So that ensures that the capable, experienced crowd gets put into a group where they can go have their fun, break their trucks or whatever. And then the people who may be new or just dipping their toes in the water, or maybe have a little bit less capable of a vehicle, can get put into a group where they're going to feel at home and where they can genuinely have a good time and do trails that are challenging for them. And that's a really, really, really helpful feature, I think, for both the attendee and for the organizer.
No, that's awesome.
Yeah,
that's really cool. I think people are going to use it in so many different ways. I think you'll probably see like services start popping up, training centers, people that host like wilderness first aid trainings and off-road recoveries. I imagine that there's a huge in for folks like that to get connected, because if you're on Facebook, you get like some of your target market and then you get your grandma,
Yep.
yeah.
But when you're native to Pathfinder, like the market is there. It's that.
Yeah. And another great part is that all of these events you're creating, you can flip a switch and it'll be publicly indexable on Google if you'd like it to be. So you can share that wherever you want. So someone not being a member of Pathfinder Pro right off the bat isn't going to impact the visibility of your event. So you can really, really get the word out there.
Yeah. And, one note. So I know, like, Steven has mentioned a lot about like algorithms and AI. And I want to be the first to say, like, I use AI a little bit, mostly just for pissing around. But I like genuinely hate AI. I do. I hate that it exists. And I've been fortunate enough that I'm like really early adopter into being able to use Pathfinder, and it does not in any way, shape, or form feel like this AI platform. All that stuff is happening like behind the scenes, and you're just getting like intel. You're not getting like some shitty like, oh wow, it's a really good idea that you called me on that. Dash, or whatever.
Yeah. Exactly. And that's one of the things. I work in tech. That's my day job. So I'm exposed to AI more than I would like to be. And one of the very important things that went into designing the AI intelligence, we'll call it, is that you need to differentiate between what AI is good at and what it's not. And one of the things that AI is very good at is interpreting data sets. You can, whatever you want to do, you export your vehicle records out of your garage, for example, put it into AI. You say, hey, how does this look, right? And it's going to tell you it. But one of the things AI does a lot is it just makes things up. Or hallucinations, as it's called, and that's one of the things that I wanted to make sure didn't happen in the experience. So when you head over to a club and you want to open up your spotter, as it's affectionately called, when you're sending a request to the spotter has all of the context it needs. The AI knows your vehicle, it knows your modifications, it knows your gear that you have, it knows your sleeping bag, it knows your sleeping bag rating, it knows your solar setups, what you have, all these different things. It knows the trail, the weather, the fire risk, the elevation, it knows everything. So when you ask it a question, it's going to not make things up. It's just going to interpret the data and give it to you. And then we've also trained the model to give some pretty cool advice. One of the things that I really like a lot is you can ask it a question, something like, hey, how's my battery and my power setup for this trip look like? And what it'll do is it'll take your battery. So you got, 1,000 watt hours. It'll take that. It'll take the solar panels that you have. It'll take that. It'll take, say you have a Starlink and maybe you have a CPAP, right? It's going to take all of that, and it's going to take into account the trip duration and then tell you what your power situation is going to look like and if you're going to be good or not for that trip. And it also takes the weather into account, and it'll tell you the how efficient your solar panels are going to be. So if it's going to be an overcast day, it's going to say, hey, your solar panels aren't going to be as effective. I'd recommend going light on the Starlink usage to prioritize the CPAP and different things like that.
Yeah, it works really well. Actually, this morning, it's what is today? It's Friday. So this morning, I actually tried to break it. I tried to do stuff it wasn't supposed to do.
Good.
And it's very frank. It's just like, you're not using me properly. I know the trip. I know this. I know that. I'm not here to talk about that. It actually said, I'm not a hype man. that was like the only like non-professional analytic thing I could get it to say. I was using it like a total ass just to see, because people will be doing like, trying to use it for their shopping list or their homework and stuff. And no, the guardrails are very much set for like, if data set exists, use it. If it's outside the bounds of what this scope is, like, I'm just not even pissing with it, and that, I think that is like the best use case for it. It's not a hokey, like I've seen hokey junk, and it's not that. So it works really well. There's one thing that we didn't talk about, and the garage is, I don't know. There's a lot that are my favorite, I guess, but this is one that I'm just so excited for. SOS.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So this was actually an idea that was spawned from a topic that was discussed on the podcast a couple weeks ago.
Nice.
Where, a couple dudes just wanted to go drink some beer on a mountain, and then, there was a manhunt that was started after them. That was funny to watch on Facebook and watch all that go down.
Yes.
But it got me thinking, right? If you're in any off-road groups, you'll see posts. I mean, there's that infinite or infamous Salt Flats dude who sunk into the mud in the salt flats, and then managed to tear down a historical monument because he tried to winch to it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, that was bad.
And then you have people posting on Facebook like, hey, I need a recovery at this spot, yada, yada, yada. It's not that great. So we have
half the time they don't even say where they're at. They're just like, need some help up by Elkins.
Yeah.
Okay, Grandma.
Yeah. So that's what kind of drove the idea behind the SOS feature. And to right off the bat, this feature is not a replacement for emergency services, but what it is it's a way to rally the community around off-road recoveries. So what the flow would look like is, say you're wheeling and you get stuck. You'd open up your app and you'd hit, the SOS button. And what it would do is it would send up to the application a summary of what your vehicle is. It'll send you your coordinates. You can attach a quick description to it, of what you need, and it'll send it out. And it'll essentially operate similar to ride shares or Uber Eats, where an SOS request goes out to the community, and those people who have opted in to be a responder can get that alert, and then they can respond to that alert, and it'll show you on the map where they are, come recover the person. And then once that recovery is done, we're working on some sort of incentive system for responders. But I mean, I know just by being in the community that people do this for free.
Yeah.
And if you don't do it for free, you should.
Yeah. I'm so excited for this.
And one of the very first question that I get is, okay, this SOS feature sounds great, but 90% of the time I'm on the trail, I don't have cell service. And that is the very cool feature about the SOS functionality, is that we have an SMS endpoint built out in the cloud where you can click a button in your mobile app if you don't have service, and it will encrypt all of that data into just a string of characters. You go to your messaging, you turn on the satellite texting, you text that encrypted block straight up into the cloud, and we get it, we decrypt your message, and we initiate the SOS on your behalf without you having to have cell service. And then we can also send you back notifications as well over text that you can receive through your satellite texting on pretty much any modern iPhone or Android. And that is a very robust system that we can leverage. And I don't know why anyone hasn't yet.
I actually, I was going to mention, like, I know we talked briefly about like the basically unique token that you created. Maybe throw a patent on that particular piece. Because like I'm telling you, when I say that this is gonna pop, like I mean, my goodness, think about this past winter. How many recovery requests did we see in that 3-week span this winter?
It was.
I did 2 recoveries myself in the same night on the most recent big snowstorm. I mean, they're everywhere.
It was nonstop, and across like Facebook, the different recovery pages, you could see somebody posted at noon, and at 2:00 you could go back to try to find that post, and there were 10.
Yep.
And Facebook is a horrible platform to try to get help like that. It's okay for community notification, but it's just like 37 different people commenting on, this
and
is
it all relies on cell service.
Yeah, this is why you should have had 3 peaks. It's like, shut up, dude. Are you going to help or not?
Yeah, exactly. And this is it's also why, like, I'm a big proponent of, if based on your skill level and your confidence level, whatever, don't be afraid to go out by yourself and have fun. This is one of the things you see all the time, where you see these dudes that are just harassing you for going out and enjoying yourself, alone. And it's like, there's obviously risks when you go out alone. Just don't take those risks.
Yeah.
Like, and then having this feature in your back pocket is going to be awesome, because I love the idea of community. I've went to many of the Overland Expos. I was the first employee at All Dogs Off Road with Chad. And I know the Overland and off-road community pretty well. I deeply believe it's deep down is good people. And I really hope that this feature is something that can rally the community together to get people the help they need.
Definitely. Yeah, I'm very, very excited for that. I will most certainly be a responder. I cannot wait until I get my first little notification. The problem is there's like nothing around me specifically unless we get some of the local farmers on when they get their tractors stuck, you know?
You never know, man. How many dirt roads are out there with deep mud holes?
It's true.
You know?
It's true. Yeah, I don't know. I'm going to have to put some billboards up at the local PA skills game places at the gas stations.
Yeah, it's an exciting feature, and it's something that I think that people will generally find usable. And because the companion app is going to be offline, even when you're on the trail trying to do your run or whatever, it's all going to function offline. And that's one of the really good features that it's going to have. Offline capability is crucial for this type of hobby.
Yes,
for sure. I'm trying to think. Are there any other features that we missed?
Let me look at the app real quick.
Yeah. I guess one thing that we didn't really cover is the home screen, which is called Basecamp. I love that. It's basically just like community Facebook feed. Whatever people post a picture, comment. Imagine very similar to the way a Facebook photo is. You can react, comment. I think can we reply with photos yet?
Let me test it. Yes, you can.
Yeah. I thought we could. There's community chats, club chats, all of the things that you want to do with your people are there. And like me, like when I'm doom scrolling, I just want to doom scroll Facebook Marketplace and off-roading.
Oh yeah, Marketplace coming soon.
Yes, that's
potentially.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, one other feature that we didn't talk about yet is I'm going to lay out the problem first and talk about the solution. So you go to an event, whatever it is, everyone and their brother has 100 photos, right? So you head over to your events page, you upload your photos, and well, this is another issue. Are the photos in Dropbox? Are they in Google Drive? Are they on Facebook?
The worst, dude.
So all the photos are going to be in one place. They're going to be attached to your events. And I know that you all have done this, and I know everyone listening, I know you have done this, is you only care about photos of your own vehicle. Like, let's be honest here. You don't care about the $140,000 Raptor R that came on the trip. You care about your third gen 4Runner, and that's it, right?
Yes.
And I love that. I totally support that. So you go to the photos tab and you're scrolling. You're doom scrolling photos, looking for photos of your truck. So this is another area where we're leveraging AI in an intelligent way. So what happens is you upload a photo, and that photo, we run it through image processing. What it does is it takes the photos that you have attached to your garage and converts those to image vectors. And then what it does is every photo that gets uploaded also gets ran through that same thing. And then those image vectors get compared. And if there's a match, it will get tagged as your vehicle. So what that means for the user is you go to this event photos tab, there's 2,000 photos. You click a single button and it filters instantly and only shows you pictures of your vehicle.
That's so cool. I love that. And that's so cool. Like, especially in our case, we have like a lot of badass photographers that are connected with us. And there have been times, like you brought up Dropbox. Dropbox is cool if you have it like natively at your house, but trying to integrate your people into Dropbox is miserable.
Oh, I refuse to pay for Dropbox, by the way.
It's miserable. Google Drive is just as bad. It's like big and dumb and clunky. There's no reason I need a picture thumbnail that's this big.
Yep. And one of the other cool things, again, and this all comes around to the idea of the fact that all of the data is in one place. And because of that, we can do some very cool things. So you upload your photos, you're also going to be able to go click a button and see a map, see the route, and we'll physically plot the photos where they took place on the route so that you can see, like, hey, I know this cool obstacle was right here. I'm just going to click on that spot and see all the photos and videos from that specific obstacle. The photos have the metadata. We just got to use them,
Yeah. That's going to be so fun. I just think back how useful all this stuff would have been over the last decade of just bumbling through. And I know that we've talked about it, but it coming to fruition and like it's happened fast. Like the amount of time that we've talked about it versus the amount of time that you have taken is crazy how fast it's come together.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't even really know. I think that it was very close to so I recently turned 28 and, outside of the beginning of CAMO, I'm probably more involved than I have been ever, outside of the beginning because I had that stint out in, with All Dogs, which was a ton of fun. But, I'm very invested in the club and I always have been, and turned 28. And I was thinking, because my friend and I always have this thing where we talk about what our goals are going to be for the next year and then what we've accomplished, in the previous year. And I remember I'd always talked about this idea, but it just never happened. And then when I turned 28, I thought back to that conversation and I said, you know what? Now's the time. And I'm very excited. It's come a long way. Hope the mobile app is tricky just due to like getting it approved through the App Store and all that stuff. But we're hoping to have Nick, and anyone else who's, using iPhone to do some beta testing for us on this upcoming trip.
Yeah.
It should be very good.
Yeah, so real quick. Let's do a quick aside, Aaron. What is this upcoming trip? What are we doing in 48 hours?
Yeah. We have decided we don't like our trucks anymore. We're going to take them to Pots and try to destroy them.
Yeah, man.
This is durability testing.
Yeah, I'm so excited. I have wanted to run Potts Mountain forever. It just...
Yes.
It never lined up.
This is your first?
This is my first time there. And as a matter of fact, I actually haven't even spoiled it with really watching videos. I watched one
Dark
video.
Side.
And yeah, because first of all, that guy, and I don't know him, but that is the best logo in all of Overlanding. Dark Side Overlanding. I love that.
Yeah.
It's so cool.
It's like a Star Wars thing, isn't it?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
But I'm fully confident that we're going to be all right. It's just, for those that aren't familiar with it, as far as public roads go, I think I'd feel comfortable saying it's the hardest continuous public road east of the Mississippi. I think that's very fair assessment.
Yeah, that's its reputation.
A lot of rocks, so I'm gonna have as much media going as I can. Who knows? Maybe we'll have some carnage, and Aaron and I will just do a podcast in the woods while I explain why, honey, I'm not home for Monday.
I mean, my first reaction is you don't really need a video to spoil Potts Mountain. All you got to do is look at Marco's bedside.
Yeah. There's gonna be. I actually just went through, and Steven, you'll be familiar with this. In the second gen Frontier where the engine skid mounts in the back on that subframe bar.
Mm-hmm.
I just went through tonight and I put some 10-2 hardware instead of that little tiny, like, I don't even know, 5/16. I put in some 9/16 big old bolts 4 across the back of that.
Yep.
So, just in case, because I figured that was going to get beat to absolute shit.
Yeah.
So yeah, it should be really fun. I'm very excited. The route itself, the trail's only 7.25 miles long, but the average speed is about 1 mile an hour. So most people,
full day.
Most people, if I'm not mistaken, they go up to the summit, and then they camp, and they finish the next day.
Is it an in and out, or is it a through?
Through.
Okay.
So I have a kid's birthday party on Saturday, so I can't make it a 2-day. I'd like to. I don't know. I'm probably gonna bring the boys. However, my middle son, he's real sick, so I'm hoping he's feeling better tomorrow. But we'll see. But I think the boys will get a kick out of it, and if they're in the truck with me, I won't be too stupid. But it's funny. My oldest son eggs me on real bad, like real bad. Like almost like a you won't, like I bet you won't kind of deal. And it's like, boy, you don't even know.
I've another feature to talk about, and I'll kind of kick it off with a question for Aaron. How many times when we're at camp have you heard the line, "What time are we rolling out tomorrow?" Has Nick said?
Oh, it's the ass crack of dawn. It's
Always.
Whenever the frontier starts, you've got like 30 seconds.
No, you know it's
but
real.
Yeah, nobody knows
when he starts revving that actual dump exhaust.
He sounds like a high school kid. He just got out of class.
Yeah, so I mean, picture this, right? You're an event organizer. It's 8 a.m. It's time to roll. You see the Taj Mahal of rooftop tents is still up. Right? And you're like, we got to get out of here. What's going on? You got to rally the troops, all that. So the night before, when you roll into camp, in your trail companion, there's a button that says, I'm at camp. Click it. It also, if you have an itinerary item for camp, it'll detect it automatically. But what that means is when you hit I'm at camp, you get a screen. And this screen tells you weather, and it tells you, rain, snow, whatever. And it says, departure time tomorrow is 8 a.m. No one has an excuse. Everyone can check their phone whenever they want. If they forget because they've had too many beers or, chocolate bars, they can just check it and they can go.
Get a notification of, you brought up the Taj Mahal, and that just made me think of, there's this one guy. He was nicer than hell. He's a good guy. But as he was setting this thing up, dude, it sounded like, do you ever play Age of Empires for like Windows 95 when you're like building and it's like, tink, 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 tink.
Are we talking about when we were down at RPA?
Yes.
When it was a torrential downpour and there's a full on like fiesta going on.
Yeah.
In the Taj Mahal.
Literally, like there were street talk as being made. I was getting ready for the war horn, like, we get attacked by another Overlander clan because we just raised this castle in the mountains.
Oh man. And that was on like a super crew long bed super duty.
Yes. Gosh, there were so many people that came out to hang out with us that night. The Ram came with the camper that night.
How many dudes does it take to spot Valente into a parking space?
There's some environmental damage at that.
Yeah. I mean, that truck without a trailer weighs like 10K. Add that trailer on. I mean, when he put it in reverse and gave it gas, I thought the earth was going to change on its axis. It was outrageous.
And the best part about that was he was down in that ditch. He was like down in a little like valley almost. And at the top of the valley on the edge, you got about 15 dudes, everyone with a beer in their hands, all spotting him at the same time. And he's pissed. Mike is pissed off.
To his credit, if I'm not mistaken, that was a one back. I think as soon as he put it in reverse, he did it in one go.
And he backed it in between like probably 150K worth of vehicles.
Yes.
It was that super built 4Runner, and I think it was Andrew's Ranger Raptor or something else. But
yeah.
I mean, either way, it was impressive.
Yeah. I'll be honest. I thought we were going to need like 2 winches to get it up out of there. The fact that it backed out was ridiculous.
Yeah. I mean,
that was a fun
when
trip.
when you're on your third engine, I guess you kind of know what you're doing at that point.
Yeah, exactly.
Both our
Third
life.
time's the charm. Oh man, that's
I got
awesome.
no room to speak.
Yeah. I
Is
mean,
that a turbo I see on that thing?
No, that's a Ranger Raptor beater.
Oh, I don't know.
Yes,
it looks like there's 4 cylinders in there.
Yes, there is.
But the turbo's sick. I'm very down to race.
Yes, we will run them eventually.
Yeah,
once
I can't wait to hear that thing rev out to like rotary territory. I was looking into those a little. I did not realize like
they
just keep spooling.
Yes. Australia, the burnout pits, man. So many of those guys are running that.
Yeah, that's
how big
the
is that
video
turbo?
I watched.
It's $120 like max speeding rods. Like
how big is it?
I have no idea.
Do you know like the millimeters on it?
It's about that big.
Wow, Bro's out here bragging right now.
Yeah, I have no idea what it's going to do. It's a marketplace, fine. Like there was a manifold, there was a bunch of gauges, the turbo. I come out to the good with it. I'm going to run it. It'll let me get my plumbing and stuff in and be safe-ish for the stock motor. And then once I get that built, then I don't know how long that turbo is going to survive. Like it's $120 turbo. So like, I don't care. It's going to make terrible noises.
Air is air, bro.
Great.
Yeah,
exactly.
Well, it should have. It's a TDO4 bounce, right? So you could put.
I can put whatever on.
It's a placeholder for what you're gonna run. Basically.
Yeah. I'll probably get a nice turbo at some point, or find one off of Cummins, or I don't know. I'll do something that's interesting.
HX35, the Toyota. Let's go.
I got one sitting right there. So there's an H1C over there. Well, I've got turbos here, and I don't have a damn thing but the Dodge turbo.
Back home, every single Cobalt SS kid that I knew was putting a junkyard HX35 on their Cobalt. That thing would lag so hard. But as soon as it would light, dude, these things made pretty good power.
Yeah.
I remember, I'm trying to remember because Aaron, like, you kind of, I don't know how to word it. You kind of came out of nowhere. I think my first trip with you was Kentucky.
So there's a video.
Yeah, he had the bubonic plague when you met him.
Yes.
Oh, dude, I was the sickest I've ever been in my life. It was like I was bedridden like 3 days before. It was legitimately the worst I've ever been and not been in the hospital.
Yeah, I think it was a different trip, but the one where you almost flipped over that Tacoma on that rock ledge at night.
Oh yeah. That was shit.
That's the one you showed up to with no gas.
Yeah, that's the one you didn't get gas. You put the nozzle in and then.
Oh my gosh, that was. You know what? Okay, this is Alex Clark's fault because I rolled up explicit instructions from Nick were get fuel before we leave. So I'm like, okay. Pull up to the gas station, grab the nozzle, throw it in, hit the button, pull the lever, whatever. Little to my knowledge is that my card that I used had expired. So it never ran. And I come back to the truck after talking to Alex because I hadn't seen him in a long time, or, catching up or whatever. And I come back, I look at the gas thing, it says like $55, which back then was a full tank of gas. And I'm like, great, $55 of gas, perfect. Close it up, park. We hit the trail. I look down, I'm on E. I'm like, what? I genuinely thought I was in the Twilight Zone because I looked at the gas thing, and I even ripped the receipt out of the machine. It was still there from the last guy. So I ripped the last guy's receipt. And, I'm driving and I'm like, this is impossible. I was like, in my gas tank. So yeah, that was that trip.
Yeah.
Oh, I was relentlessly bullied for that one.
Yeah, we didn't let up, actually. Yeah, that was fun. That was a long night.
Oh yeah, that was when Julia's Pulley went.
Yeah.
That was a really fun trip.
Yeah.
Oh,
Actually,
navigating that industrial machinery.
Yes.
I don't know who put that there, but they were wrong.
Yes.
Julia, Alex, and I stayed up until like 4:30 in the morning. Like we started to see the sunrise. We got
That's
like an hour and a half
long-
of sleep, and then next
Oh
day of
my.
driving.
Brutal.
That's a
Been there.
Brutal.
long
Yeah,
day.
it was fun. I'd do it again.
Mhm.
That road that we wound up on, that was like a rally stage for like 15 miles.
Oh my God, Alex and I had a blast.
Oh, that was
It was so
fun.
nice. So
Was that on that
nice.
same trip or was that different?
Same trip.
Yeah, it was gravel before we got to Julia breaking.
Yeah.
I was backing off of Aaron Justice. He was in front of me with a Subaru, and I'd get way off of him and then get a run at some of this gravel. And I'm sliding it around. I come around this one corner and I drop the left front down off the road, and it like hooked. I had the ass end out, and I carried so much momentum. I was like half a car length from just ass ending him. Coming around the other turn. Like it was real bad.
Yep.
I ran up on him and I'm looking behind me and there's just a dust cloud and all I can see is Alex's yellow lights coming at me. I'm like, oh shit, he's going to hit me now. Like this is going to be bad. Somehow we made it okay. But yeah, we were drifting like crazy for a while.
The radio chatter during that was hysterical hearing up front because it was just like 4 different sets of people doing like different levels of dumb shit. Like, whoop, too far. Whoop,
Yes.
On the topic of radio chatter, though, we probably should get into a quick Q&A.
Yeah.
I got to give these a shuffle because I was looking at them. I don't want to get one that we had last time. But yeah, so we'll hit a radio chatter Q&A conversation card game. Let's see what we got. What are the odds, dude? This is the first one I pulled is one from last week. What destination is overrated? We're not going to do that one. Oh, for goodness sakes. What are your tips and tricks for planning a route? Have you guys heard about Pathfinder Pro? I mean, yeah, I guess. Oh gosh, there's so much. The biggest tip that I could give is if you're planning an overland trip, and when I say overland, I mean like we're not just running one trail. Like, you know, Sunday we're gonna go run Potts. I don't consider that overlanding. You know, this is like a Michigan thing. Don't get hung up on the specifics of the route. You know, look at I break the map down into like a quadrant, and I look at where I want to get to and where I want to sleep. And then within that quadrant, I kind of build out where I'm going. And once I have a square built out, you know, now I have something that makes kind of sense. But really, the majority of times we're gonna run a loop. And I think, you know, did you ever play Midnight Club? You know how there's like the little arrow above you that kind of points to, like, a lot of times guys are like, oh, you know, Nick missed a turn, you know, oh, I guess we're not taking that. And it's like, yeah, because when I connected these dots on the route, like that's just fill. Like I'm exploring the same way everyone else is. And I think if you hyperfixate on the specifics of the route to the point where you're like not even exploring anymore, it's not going to be very fun for you. So I think to be specific to route planning, that's the best advice that I can give. And be very upfront if something is easy, because people are way more pissed off if something feels boring than if something is harder than they expected. Like bored people will literally like shit talk you directly. Like that, I'm talking like they're twisting the knife in your heart. People that you take on like a trail they weren't quite expecting to do, like they'll get over it and they probably had fun, you know. But I have over the years been extremely clear when something is easy to let everybody know it's going to be easy. That way the back half race truck or Ultra 4 rig, or this is real, the ultimate adventure Bronco on 40s doesn't come up to do a picnic trip.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's probably my best. What do you guys think?
Read it to me again.
What are your tips and tricks for route planning?
I just try to figure out where I want to end up and then go without hitting interstate. Try to find the darkest skies possible, and it's nice to have a pull off somewhere along there or have some alternate sites, but I just go.
Yeah. Yeah. I it's same theme there. Don't hyperfixate on the specifics, because then when something goes wrong, you're going to feel like something went wrong, Whereas if you just have kind of an outline, then you can't miss a turn if you didn't plan it.
That's right.
My answer would be similar to that. I think one of the most important things that I've learned over the last 10 years is that the people matter more than the route. I think as an organizer, it's very easy to get hyper focused on making sure that the event that you're putting on is perfect. But in reality, the people that are showing up to these events, they want to get involved in the community. They want to make friends, and they want to wheel. So if you focus less on the route, obviously everyone appreciates a great route, but as long as your primary focus is the people, I think that as a general rule, you're going to have great trips. And that's the ethos that we carried into Pathfinder Pro is we have these features, yes, but at the core, it's all about the community.
Yep.
Yeah.
No, definitely. Yeah, that's what it's all about.
Yeah, that's actually why I started doing the waffle fry thing, because it was it was a networking thing. Like, I'll never forget both of y'all's faces up there at RPC. Like, first time, y'all don't know me. It's my second trip. I'm just like, here, try this. And both of you guys are like, where the hell did these fries come from? And then, like, faces lit up. And like, yeah. And then it was like, hey, we're all friends now. And that was done over.
Yeah.
Like, it just
you know what it was? It was that night on RPC, we were freezing our tails off. I remember it was so cold, I had to stand on firewood because the ground was sucking the heat out of my winter boots.
Yeah.
And then we're all huddled around this campfire, and all of a sudden, like, a hand pushes its way through the ring of people, and there's just a plate of waffle fries in the middle of the group. And I'm like, this is the greatest thing in the world.
Yeah, definitely.
They're cold by the time they make it to your mouth. It's so, it's so cold out, but it was perfect.
Yeah.
This just reminded me, this is a quick aside, it's not even really a story, but were any of you there when we tried to have the shrimp boil?
No.
No, I was not there for that.
So it went pretty okay. It actually did. It was like hot and buggy, which is like not when you want to have a boil, but it went well. Because of that, we decided we were going to fry a turkey.
Deep fry a turkey?
Uh-huh. So we had just run, I think, Union Springs. Well, the pot got beat up a little bit.
It's not hard to do.
And it got this hole in it. So we're like, oh shit, like, we planned on eating turkey tonight. So we're like, I bet you Quick Steel will fix that. So we like JB welded and Quick Steel a deep fryer, filled it with peanut oil, and cooked the turkey in JB Weld.
JB Weld smells so bad when it burns.
It's pretty good.
Awful.
Dude, there's going to be a PubMed, like, macro analysis on CAMO members in 50 years.
That ain't JB Weld.
That is so funny to me because, like, you got Aaron out here deep frying in the woods, and I can't even cook bacon in a cast iron skillet. Oh, man.
I don't even cook. I just open stuff out of wrappers. At best, I boil water.
Not gonna lie, I feel like one of my favorite unspoken traditions that you and I kind of have on these trips is every morning it's the biscuits and gravy, white monster and Zins in the morning.
I wouldn't know what to do with myself if I didn't have those three things.
And the greatest part about Pathfinder Pro is you can plot the gas stations on the map, because when you eat like that, you gotta find a bathroom.
Yeah, that's actually a really good point. We didn't bring that up in the route finder, but there's literally just one button, and the gas stations are just like, boom, all of them along the route. It works really, really well. I'm excited to run it Sunday. Honestly,
yeah. And they're surfaced as what we call POIs, point of interest. So when those gas stations are surfaced and you're building your route, you can literally just click on it, and it'll auto snap your route to that gas station. So it's not just like a layer on the map; it's actually something that the app knows about.
Yeah, awesome. This is really nice. Like when we were doing the like trying to figure out the logistics for the 24-hour stuff, like I'm looking on Google Maps to try to find the gas station, and then going to OnX for the routing and try to pin everything there. Again, it's the back and forth thing. So having it in Pathfinder is going to be nice. Everything one place.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. I don't even want to give the secrets, but let's just say that you're a private club and you upload the 24 route to your Pathfinder, right? And then you start route, right? Now your team is plotted on the route and your stuff, and you know where the gas stations are, and you know now it works like lead nav because the checkpoints are now POIs on the map, so you know time to, miles to.
It's a lot of good information there. Run your ELM, get yourself your average speed, your fuel consumption. You got it all.
Yeah. Oh, and the app knows your range as well. So it will actually recommend you. It'll surface the gas stations, but it'll also recommend which ones.
Yeah. So, if anyone is a 24-hour guy listening, which I think is like a lot of you, good tool, and you don't have to pay out the ass for lead nav.
Yeah, that kind of goes into the like a little bit more of the ethos matching camos is, I want the experience to be free for as many people as possible. Realistically, the things that, obviously I have costs. I work in tech. I'm a big AWS guy, so everything's in the cloud, and that comes with cost. So really, the things that are paid in the app are just the things that cost me the most money. Like the AI features cost me some money, and and things like that. But I think the value is pretty good. It's $5 a month. Compared to
you can't beat it.
Yeah,
you can't beat that.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, actually, to pick off of, I can't remember who it was. Might have been you, Nick. We'll do the first person on each platform to comment. What's a good word?
Steven's bacon.
No, yeah. First person in each platform to comment bacon, I'll send you 3 months of Pro for free.
Ooh.
Wow.
Yeah.
Let's go. That's awesome. Cool. Well, hopefully. Yeah, I might get that comment in there. That might be my pin comment.
You're already Pro, idiot.
Yeah, no, that's cool. I think the best advice I can give is just make an account and play around in the garage. And next thing you know, you'll have spent like 45 minutes in there just decking your garage out, and you can see all your stuff laid out. I nerd out to that stuff like crazy, so that's really fun. Join a club, meet some people. It's really cool. You guys have anything to add?
I like the maintenance part.
Yes, that's actually a very new feature.
Yeah. I like that because my old way of doing it was a Sharpie on the core support. Like I've got all my installation
Oh
maintenance stuff
yeah.
just wrote under the hood, and it's like, yeah, that's nice, but I can only go so far, and brake clean's starting to take the paint off of that, and like it's
Yep.
starting to look kind of hateful. So to put it on the app would be nice.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why I forgot to mention that. I mean, truthfully, that could be like its own program in itself.
Yeah.
Is the full maintenance program in your garage. And it's unlimited, if I'm not mistaken. You can create your own categories, right?
Yep. Yeah, you can create your own categories. I have it pre-populated with some of the most common ones. And this is another area that we're gonna leverage a little bit of algorithms and potentially AI. But what I'd really like is, again, we have the data, let's use it, right? So you have your maintenance page. Right now, we surface basic things like here's your average oil change interval, here's your recommended next oil change, and you can obviously customize that. I have mine at 4,500 miles. But there's better things we can do with that. We have this data. We can tell you like, hey, this trip is gonna, between you leaving your house, wheeling the 400-mile route and coming back, this is gonna put 1,200 miles in your vehicle, and that's gonna put you over like outside of your oil change intervals. So change your oil before you leave. These are things that we can surface to the user that they might not think about. And that'll be very helpful. And these are things that people already know, but there's just so much information that taking it, extracting it, and trimming it down and giving it to somebody in a digestible way, I think is very valuable.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I think
Yeah.
about it before big trips, like pre-pots. Like, I tightened up some hardware, torqued my lug nuts, kicked the doors, the truck's still together. Like, I'm gonna run it. I cleaned it.
Yep.
Pre-Michigan is like a completely different story. This is where I'm like, okay, when's the last time I did my belts? What does my front diff, gear oil look like? Is there grease in X, Y, and Z? All of those things being able to lay out in front of you so that it's something you can actually look at versus just trying to think about it. I think that's definitely a cheat code to make sure that your stuff is like ready to roll, if you're James and it's been like 7 decades since you've done your lower ball joints.
he just did them this week.
He did them. Finally. First of all, we need to, hopefully he kept them, because I would like to send those off to be studied. Because that is an 07. Those are the OEM lower control arms.
And they're the ones that fall apart. They go ka-chow all the time.
And
there's
they
like
survived
support groups over Facebook.
Like, I'm just playing in my head the replays of all of the three-wheeling and the beating and bashing over the last, 5-6 years I've known the guy. Oh, yeah. There it is, behind you right now.
Yeah. There it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, look at that. Yep, OEM. He's
got some 5100s coming too.
Yeah, we're building it
nice.
out. I'm excited. I want to talk him into coming to Michigan. I think it's paving season.
I just assumed he was. Yeah, it's paving. Well, it's always construction season in Pennsylvania.
That's true.
Yeah. Big time.
Yeah. Well, I think we've probably yapped enough, guys. We just hit 2 hours. What do you think?
Oh, man. Time flies. I mean, it's genuinely awesome to get on here and kind of just relive the way that CAMO got started. Every single time that I could get to camp the night before, I mean, it's the same guys around that fire. We retell the same exact story every single trip. There's always new people there who get to hear it for the first time, and it is just as fun every single time.
Yep, absolutely. Yep. And those new people then become the old heads, Yep. And that makes it really cool.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I don't know if it's just unique to CAMO, but there are people who, like, once you've gone on one trip, like, you're in, When you roll up to camp the next time, we all know who you are. We're all excited to see you. We're all excited to catch up. It's it's a good time.
You're an inmate to the asylum. There's no two ways about it.
Oh yeah, and anything that you do in camo that is a little bit embarrassing, you will never hear the end of it, and that's a good thing.
You own that forever. You will wear that.
Yep.
In the best of ways. But yeah, guys, check out Pathfinder Pro. You get on it right now. Start for free. PathfinderPro.io. Make an account. Join a club. Join CAMO. If you're local, join CAMO. I'm still vetting you guys. I don't want any nerds in there.
Actually, I had a guy reach out to me this week and told him to join, and then I just saw his welcome post earlier.
Let's go.
So,
nice.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah, and if you are somebody who's interested in starting a club, or you do run a club already, want to see if it's a fit, hit me up. I love talking to the community, and if you sign up, there's a bell button at the top right of your screen in the app, or sorry, a question mark button at the top right. Hit that. That sends an email directly to me with your feedback, and I will respond to you. Always happy to hear from you on feedback, questions,
I'm about
or anything
to
like
abuse that.
Yeah.
I regret this now.
Steven also does not sleep, so you can do this at any time throughout the night or morning, and you'll get a response.
That's facts. There's been a lot of 2 a.m. posts about this happening.
I actually felt bad the other night. I brought up I think it was just a minor UI issue and maybe some things that could be improvements. And I went to bed. It was 1 o'clock in the morning, 3:47 a.m.
Yes.
I get ping. Hey, bro, this is fixed. And I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. The thing is, this is very much a passion project. It means a lot to me because, again, the off-road community is amazing, and they deserve something better.
I think you've done beyond an incredible job, and I wouldn't be saying that if it wasn't true, and I'm not just inflating your head because you're my buddy. It is literally exactly what I would ask for as somebody that wants to put this stuff together. It's really fun to nerd out in, and I'm really, really excited to watch it blow up because I'm very confident that it will. So, being an early adopter and being kind of the OG group, that got to put our hands on it, I'm pretty pumped.
Yeah,
super cool.
And I appreciate all of the beta testing. Sometimes people might think they get a little annoying hitting me up with things that they, hey, this feature would be cool, or hey, this doesn't flow right, or different things like that. I love it. It's great. I don't mind it at all.
Yeah, and if you want to directly abuse Steven, you can join CAMO's Discord, and you can ping him at any time. He loves that, especially in the middle of the night.
I'll be awake.
You will be awake. Well, listen, guys, we appreciate it. Download it, join a club, start a club. And until next time, keep the shiny side up, muddy side down. Wish us luck at POTS. We'll have some cool stuff for you after that. Who knows? We might even do a show on the mountain. We'll see.
See ya.
Thanks for having me. Much appreciated.
Thanks, Steven. See you guys.
See ya.